hard work, dedication, and effort went into this production. 2 seasons ago, a tradition of BTE was to have a talkback after at least one of our show's production to talk about what you saw on stage, the process that went into it. BTE is a group on campus that is very dedicated to socially conscious plays, things that deal with, productions that deal with race, identity, how it is to be a person of color in America, as you saw in Passing Strange, and going through all the things to find out who you are, how we live, and what do we do to live. So, we want to invite you to talk personally with our cast and crew about why we chose Passing Strange, what you saw in Passing Strange, if there's anything in Passing Strange you did not understand and want to talk about. This is the time to do it. So please, the floor is open, but before we start, I would love to introduce the cast and crew of Passing Strange. So they're going to go around, introduce themselves, and say what roles they played, or at least one.
Hi, I'm Keith. I play Terry in LA.
I'm Daniela, the assistant stage manager.
Laura, producer.
I'm Julian, I'm youth.
I'm Dylan, I was the mother.
I'm Syringi, I was Reverend Jones and Vina
I'm Tamar, I was Jupe and Hugo.
I'm Sarah, I was Mr. Franklin and Desi.
I'm Taryn, I was Sherry.
I'm Cameron Mitchell. I was narrator.
I'm Jenny, I was Mariana and Sudabe.
I'm Alex, I was assistant choreographer.
I'm Matt, I was the assistant director.
I'm Katie, I'm the director.
I'm Thomas, I'm music director.
Hi, I'm Jonah, I was Christoph and Mr. Venus.
Hi, I'm Chloe, I was choreographer.
There's a tradition of Black writers, especially in the 1930s through the 50s, who left America to go to Europe to, and felt like they could more fully realize themselves there. Youth is trying to reconcile his present with his past, and he decides that he needs to ignore his past to find his present. And I think that's a lot of why he goes, and it's something that we've had a lot of conversations about. Julian probably wants to weigh in as well.
James Baldwin, who would have been 90 in August of this year, left for Paris in 1948, and one of the things he said of why he left is because he was born in Harlem. He goes, I wasn't sure what would happen to me in Paris, but I knew what would happen to me in New York if I stayed. And I think that's part of youth struggle when it comes to like being in LA in 1972, I think it is. He knows sort of the circle that he would have just been that he would have fallen into of not being content with where he was, with who he was, with what he was doing. And I don't think it was less so about picking Amsterdam in particular, or picking Berlin in particular, but just, there was bliss in not knowing what could come of leaving, but if he stayed, he knew what would happen. And I think that really sort of, to me, helped me think through why exactly is he making the choices he's making and doing exactly what he's doing. So.
Love and understanding from his mother, from his friends, and the relationships that he built were all things that he could have done in LA, or all things that he could have done in the United States. But going away and finding those things existing in other places was probably the most eye-opening thing for him.
He's written a show that's about this young person to whom he relates very profoundly, and maybe in his mind it is his younger self, and that's how we've been playing it, but it doesn't have to be. It's about a person growing up and a person trying to find himself, and not really knowing where to go to find him.
The show comments a lot on different stereotypes of the Black church and of like what these different European cities are like.
The show is very self-aware that it's a show. The narrator talks to the audience. The narrator gives you the pillow at the beginning of the show. He's created this sphere, and because of that, I think it allows for the fact that the song "The Black One" is commentary, and that a couple other moments are commentary. That reads, but it's tricky.
The characters that are paired together, they very directly comment on each other. A very obvious one is Jenny, Sudabe, and she literally comments on her previous character, and I think in that sense, you see the dialogue between the two contrasting characters, and you see the dialogue on the theme that they're discussing. And I think in that, we strike this interesting balance between memory and kind of playing up this memory and playing up these themes up for discussion.
It weighs on you because not only do you live in the lines and live in the show, you start to think about your own mother and their unconditional love and your own parents and your own life and how it's shaped you and become who you are to get this amazing place we are now. So it's sort of it's a lot to handle. It's a lot to handle.
We have to hug it out a lot.
Because like I feel like after I get off of fighting with Julie, especially right after Come Down Now, when I say to him, I'm mad at this kid. I am not at this kid. And I have to like kind of come out of it for the next scene. The next scene is Christmas time. I'm like, oh yeah. But so
yeah, the phone call, the shift from the phone call to being like, shower hum song is like the roughest thing to do in those like split seconds. But like and then also just working with all these people is amazing because they help.
When everyone is pushing back, when everyone is giving it their all, you can't help but feel that it's so real.
This show is written in such a way that you have to give a lot more of yourself than a lot of times you would in a musical. Like a lot of times in a musical, there's like jazz hands and like happy numbers. And you can kind of like hide behind your character, but like these characters really make you connect with things inside of yourself that you might not necessarily have to. And so I think that, you know, all these emotions and everything we're feeling is just a testament to how much all of these people are willing to let the show affect them. And so I just want to say thank you because, geez.
I think it also kind of gets close to all of our hearts because we're at the age where he's trying, like when he's trying to find himself, we also are at a young age where we're working on developing, maturing, finding out what we want to do, and we don't want to make that crazy decision when we're stoned, you know? So it's like, 23,
it does
and
not
you
go away at
still feel
23.
young, and like, there's still so much more to learn, there's still so much to know about yourself. So like this play is kind of helping you reflect on how you are, how you feel, what you want to do, your decisions in life. So it's like, it's a good play because, and especially for us at our age, because it's really thinking about life and what is to happen and what will happen, what could happen, and what does happen. I think that the most important thing that I took away from the arc of this show was the determination that we all had to put on this collaboration with the spirit of focusing on works of people of color and the combination of the mission statements of CMTS and BTE into this one collaboration. And we are a creative team of mostly people of color, which is an interesting perspective that shed a lot of light into what decisions we made and why we made them. And I don't know, I think that we just all felt so passionately about doing this and the need to fill this void in the performance space at Columbia that we just put everything into it. And when it ended up being Passing Strange, it was the perfect show.
But thank you guys so much. This really has been a very long process to get to Passing Strange, and we're very proud of what we were able to accomplish. And the initiative that the boards of CMTS and BT has started. Like Laura said, it's just about being passionate and determined to fill the void that is on campus and to continue to have conversations that open up what does it look like to have people of color on stage, what does it look like to tell those stories, how do we break out of what's traditional and what's normally what we see. Something like Passing Strange, where it's not only told by a Black person, it's filled with Black people. It's look at our story, look at us put it on. And I wish more people can be involved with that. I wish more people were involved with that with all races and all people of color and more collaboration on campus with that in mind.
You know, it's so messed up how that is working within the theater community, not just at Columbia, but in society in general. But here in our little, like, on our campus, there is a Black theater ensemble which exists to provide a space for you to perform and providing a space for you to have your work produce.
We should get the same audiences, or we have different audiences when we're all just working towards theater.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing why the collaboration was so amazing, because it bridged a gap that a lot of people didn't see. Because we can put on a musical that does fulfill the aim of great musical while telling a great story of a person of color.
It's not about creating this final product, this like polished final product. It's literally about the community that we create. If anybody watching this would like to be part of our ensemble, please feel free to reach out to us via our email, cu.blacktheater with an RE @gmail.com. Please.
Or look for us on Facebook. It's Columbia University's Black Theater Ensemble.
Or Twitter.
We do have
Twitter's
a
on
Twitter.
fire.
We have the best person tweeting. Please follow us on Twitter.